Hello, everybody. I just want to introduce you to the Mr. Phillip Bass. I am in Dayton, Ohio. My name is Penda James. I'll show you my face in a minute. I am here with Mr. Bass and my friend Kia Richardson. And we have somebody famous in our presence who played with the legendary Ohio Players. And so we want to interview him today to document some history. So introduce yourself to the people.
I'm Phillip Bass, better known as Flip. Stage name's Hot Fox. And I was on the 1984 Ohio Players graduation album. I had Tune 1, Side 1, Fast Track, written with Billy Beck.
Yes. Behind him, you may not be able to see, but there's an Omega Sci-Fi blanket. So we want to give some shouts out to the men of Omega Sci-Fi Fraternity Incorporated. So let me show you my face before we get started with some interview questions. I am Penda James, and this is my daughter. I can't see Kendall behind me. Quickly, they are here with us getting some history. You can go back and sit down now. I am a scribe coach, and what I do is help people record history. I have Miss Kia.
Hi.
She is a motivational blogger, and so her passion is intimate partner violence, and today I have asked her to join me. You can join me right here, as long as we don't fall off this table together.
Uh-oh. You might not want to record this.
So we're going to interview Mr. Phillip Bass. We are in Dayton, Ohio. All right, first question, Mr. Bass. What is funk music?
Funk is a combination of soul, blues, and jazz. It dominated the airwaves in the middle 70s to the early 90s. But after that, it was used quite frequently by the rap stars, and currently it's still being seen in backdrops of hip hop music and hip hop movies.
Thank you, Character Open, for joining us. We are interviewing Mr. Phillip Bass. He played with the legendary Ohio Players, and we just told him that one of his colleagues passed away, so we wanted to document some history. So thank you for joining us today. Second question.
Mr. Bass, where did your passion for funk music come from?
We grew up in Dayton during an era that where we experienced R&B, and the Ohio Players. There was actually 5 Ohio Players started in 1959, and I happened to see them for the first time when I was 15. Somewhere around 1965, and they were just coming back from a tour from New York, and I just got stuck on what they were doing. Of course, back then it would have been called R&B and jazz.
Okay.
And from there was an explosion that happened in Dayton. We actually had about 33 local groups between 1965 and 1972, and we actually had about 19 national acts. In fact, Dayton is considered the funk capital of the world because per capita, we had more acts per capita than any other city in the world. So I'm happy to be a part of that. I came up in high school in a group called the Majestics, and 3 of the Majestics joined the original 5 Ohio Players. Well, the drummer dropped out, and the guy that played drums with me became the drummer for the Ohio Players, and then eventually 3 other members joined the Ohio Players. And so I was always kind of a tag along while I was going to college and grad school. And then once I got out, the Ohio Players were millionaires by then. So
Wow.
I was able to maintain my relationship with music. And then I actually started to write about late 70s. And formed my own group and wrote my own songs. But in 1984, Marshall Rock Jones, who just passed away on May 26th, I was invited to have a tune placed on the graduation album. And so I was flattered that 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 tune became, once again, tune one, side one, and it was the album featured in the Funk Museum, or the feature of the Afro-American Museum that featured the funk in Dayton. It was 4 rooms in Dayton, and when you walked into that exhibit, my tune and Ohio Players album was on display. It was Air City Records, the only record company to exploit a local national act, and that was once again the Ohio Players graduation album.
Wow. So how would you told us what funk music is, but how would you describe funk music to people of this generation who may not know what it is?
Well, funk music is very emotional. You know, when it comes on, your neck will start to pop and your body will start to move, and either your foot is gonna start to toe tap, or your big toe is gonna bump up against your shoe, but it's gonna cause your body to move. And then if you're familiar with any of the groups or any of the tunes, you'll find yourself standing or dancing right there in your seat. And it's very much an American art form, just like blues, R&B, and there's like a progression into funk music. And once again, we probably had 150 people out of Dayton, Ohio that were involved in these various groups.
Wow. Dayton, Ohio. We're famous. Let me just show my face real quick. So, I am Penda James. This is Kia Richardson, and we are interviewing Mr. Phillip Bass. And we are from Dayton, Ohio, and what we're learning is that Dayton, Ohio has a lot of history in the music industry. So if you don't know anything about Roger Troutman or the Ohio Players, Lakeside, Slave, you need to do your history and understand your history. So we have somebody here that's legendary.
When you say Roger Troutman, you gotta kind of mention Shirley. What's her name?
Shirley
you gotta mention Shirley Murdoch.
Yes,
you can't mention Javin Rogers without Shirley Murdoch.
Yes.
Although she's doing gospel now.
Let's just try to name them.
Okay, let's try to name them.
We got Slade, Roger, Zap, Shirley Murdoch, Lakeside, Heatwave, Slave, if I didn't say them twice.
Yep.
Sun, a group called Dayton.
Oh, it was a group called Dayton too. Okay.
Seems like we really want the funk.
And,
we do want the funk.
That's half of them anyway.
Thank you for joining us. Hello from Brazil. Thank you.
In Brazil, do you like the funk?
Yeah, he said funk music. So we're interviewing Mr. Phillip Bass, and he played with the legendary Ohio Players. So we wanted to, he actually wrote some music for them as well. So we with them, and we wanted to interview him to document some history. We have one more final question. Yes, we like funk in Brazil.
I do have one more question, Mr. Bass.
Yes,
we see seasons change, clothes change, and what would you say about how has funk music changed the era of music that has, paved the way for the different forms of music?
Well, once again, rap is the strongest driver or motivation of music income today, I think, and very much it's driving product and it's driving TV and obviously radio. And so funk is the backdrop of that. It is a expression of freedom.
Okay.
It is a form of rebellion that we were finally able to write and produce our own music. And it came out labeled later as funk. Of course, we can't get away from the fact that in Hamilton there was Roger, in Cincinnati there was Bootsy Collins, and of course James Brown. Started or joined the King label in Cincinnati, and so out of those combinations, Sugarfoot drifted to Dayton as a teenager, and once again the group, the Ohio Untouchables, played behind Robert Ward, and from there those members became the Players, and once again after about 10 years they became the Ohio Players. But the funk not only was in Dayton, it spread, and it spread in multiple places. It wasn't just Dayton and then went out. It hit Dayton and it hit these other places kind of simultaneously. But people thought that the groups, those 19 groups in Dayton, were from Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, and Toledo. They didn't realize they were all from Dayton, Ohio. So we're very proud of them.
Wow. So, Mr. Bass, this is the final thing. Thank you for joining. We're interviewing the word. Okay. Our friend from Brazil said the funk is different there. It's dirty music. So, thank you for joining us. So, what we just want to ask you, Mr. Bass, is there any final words that you want to wrap up? And we'll continue to do this as often as we can to keep collecting your history. Is there anything final that you want to say to the people?
Yeah, I look forward to documenting my involvement with the development of music in Dayton and funk, and my association with the Ohio Players and these other groups. And I also encourage those others in Dayton to just write down their memoirs and let's share our history with the world. And I very much appreciate this interview. Thank you very much.
Any final words, Kia?
No, I think I have, I guess it's been eye-opening. You know, I was born in 81, so a lot of this stuff I didn't know. So I think I got a history lesson from a walking book. I didn't have to go to the library or get an encyclopedia. I got to sit here with Mr. Phillip Bass himself, and I was able to be taught a few things.
I learned that Dayton is the funk capital of the world.
I have one more thing.
One more thing.
Yeah, we currently, the Dayton Metropolitan Library has just opened up a new branch on Fairview, what's called the Fairview branch on Philadelphia and Hillcrest. And the Dayton funk history is being exhibited in the library. So I encourage anybody that sees this blog to also visit that and to keep an ear to the ground, because there's going to be more things coming from those that's trying to form a funk museum here in Dayton.
We have one question from a follower. They want to know who currently makes good funk music.
Well, you know, those of us that made funk, we're a little older, and unfortunately, if we went out tonight or this coming weekend to see the funk, there's nobody currently that's out there. Now, there's a band that's called the Funk All-Stars. They're very representative of what we did in the past. Mr. Allen and some other people involved with that. But there aren't as many groups around Dayton currently. We want to keep the spark alive and keep young musicians and singers interested in our history and pushing whatever's next. You know, what happens with black people, we conquer a genre, then we kind of move it, we kind of let it go and move on to something else. But let's go back and pick up our past, rhythm and blues, gospel, and the funk, and let's see what's next.
He has one more question for you. What is there one artist that you really enjoy right now that makes good music?
Well, we all have to play tribute to Prince. He was a funketeer also, and he put some colors on the funk, and he also did some other ballads and some other things like that. But you know, the funkadelic is not quite what it used to be, and so you know the Ohio Players are still touring. And you certainly can get a hold of the funk if you see the group Zap. They're still touring on what we call old school, and I think the Gap. Charlie Wilson is out there.
Yeah.
And I think the guys out of New York, Cameo.
Oh, they're still
they're
touring.
Still
Okay.
on the road.
Okay.
But we just enjoyed what we did, and we will be putting some things back together here in Dayton, and hopefully taking it on the road.
Dayton, Ohio. Thank you, Mr. Bass.
Thank you.
Kia, final words.
Again, thank you, and I look forward to what it is that we won't call them former, but the comeback funk players will do here in Dayton to bring awareness and also to bring diversity to the music, which I believe is very much needed.
I see it's excited you guys. That's very encouraging.
So I think I'm excited to see, what the comeback is going to be like.
Very good.
I just recommend y'all go YouTube the Ohio Players and listen to the Graduation album. Right. Mr. Bass had a lot to do with that album. So thank you so much. Who do we like?
Who do I like?
I'm into a lot of gospel music and jazz right now.
I like R&B. I like neo soul. So that would be like Lauryn Hill. I like Lettucey. I like Maxwell. I like John Legend. I like Bruno Mars.
Okay.
I like Florida Georgia Line.
He's got a very funky tune.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like Bruno. Florida Georgia Line. I like Maroon 5. I like Blake Shelton. See, who do you like?
Sorry, battery's dying. I like a lot of different artists as well. A lot of the people that I'm learning to try to like country music. I'm trying to expand my horizons.
Into Florida Georgia Line. Okay. You'll like them. I like them.
So thank you for joining us. You are our faithful follower. I'm going to tweet this out as well as I'm going to put it on my blog. So you can find me at unpluckablefaith.com. And I'll put up a blog a little bit later with some of the things that we learned from Mr. Bass. Yeah, I love all of those too. Thank you, Nito. We appreciated you joining us today. Have a wonderful day and happy Memorial Day. We want to thank all of the people who have served our country and lost their lives as a result. Have a wonderful day.
So we just did a vlog. Well, you called it an interview.